customary in Israel in the lower grades of primary school that all the children receive vaccines from the school's nurse. This also happened to me when I was a child. And my daughters, one is in the first grade and the other in the second grade, also received, at the beginning of this year, they received vaccinations. I don't really remember. I mean, the parents should approve before that, but most of them approve, and so was me and my wife. But my daughters did not get the vaccine. The nurse was ordered by the government, instead of for my daughters, only for them, another syringe should be used, and the one that doesn't take blood but injects something into the blood. And she injected them a sexually transmitted disease. It should be noted that, according to her knowledge, my daughters were what I call titans, meaning foreigners from Venus, creatures that do not have that are not immune to such diseases. And according to her knowledge, and of course the knowledge of the people that gave the order, my daughters was destined to live short lives with horrible sexually transmitted disease. About the same time, I was also injected in a separate occasion, a nurse that I thought is taking my blood actually did the same trick on me, and then I was framed for molesting my daughters, and the proof is that both of us have this STD. The reason for all this is that the government wants me dead, and the government wants my daughters to be raised by the government itself and eventually to be eaten by the government and its people. There was a nurse in Shoham, in school. I say was, but I mean, it still is. There is a nurse that was given a command. I mean, maybe she didn't know what's inside the syringe, but I mean, can it be a good thing? I mean, if it's something good, why not give it to the children? Give it to everybody, or I mean, if it's some special medical treatment, the school is not a place to perform the treatment. I mean, the parents take their children to see the doctor, and like in any other place. She knew she's injecting a disease into these two little girls. Perhaps she didn't know if it's a fatal STD, but she knew that's what she's doing. I mean, she injected. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm confused just by the thought, but it wasn't a special. I mean, it was special, but because it was a special syringe. But it was injected something, because I mean, of course, the vaccine is something that you inject into the blood. I mean, it's only in my case they did the trick of taking blood, but actually giving injecting something. Anyways, so this nurse she knew what she was doing. A nurse in primary school in Israel injected 2 children, 6 and 7 years old, with fatal disease, because that was what the people ordered. The voice of the people ordered. Look at the sky. Use your telescope. Tell me what you see. I know what you see. You see asteroids. You ask yourself, are they going to eat? They will eat with 100% accuracy. Every year, you will get another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. This will be an eerie occasion. The first one will wipe out Israel. The others, it's going to be a surprise. I don't know where they will. I mean, I hope that as soon as possible, many will hit the United States, because I see the United States as responsible to the horror show that I live in, and this is due to many reasons that I've spoken a lot about them already. But you don't have any way to tell where each one will hit. because it's a chaotic event, and you don't even have the required mathematics in order to forecast the exact place where they will. I'm telling you, the first one will wipe out Israel completely, but all the rest of them, it will be an yearly surprise. It's each year another surprise, an yearly event. This will have devastating effect on Earth, but more than the physical devastation, it will cause a tremendous accumulated psychological stress on the people of Earth, and many of their aspirations, many of your aspirations and the aspirations of your ancestors will cease to exist. Your children and their children and their children will live a life which is mainly centered around survival. Even if some or many of them will live a life that is objectively one of higher standard with higher quality of living, even they will never think about things like, let's go, I don't know, send a mission to Mars, let's start, let's settle the ocean, let's find new planets, let's make first contact with other sentient species. They will not even bother themselves with even more humble but common thoughts that your ancestors were accustomed to deal with, like how do we reach to how do we get to, how is it possible to maintain world peace for prolonged time, and how all the nations could together cooperate for one united cause. How do we stop poverty forever? They will not bother themselves with such questions. Even if objectively they will have the required standard of living that allow people to have enough free time and free spirit to deal with those questions and those endeavors, your children and their children and all subsequent human generations will not have the mental capacity to deal with it because of the yearly event. The yearly event will remind them how shitty they are and how shitty you are, your parents, their ancestors. And this shittiness they will never recover from it. Never. Humanity will never recover from it. I swear. It will survive, but in a very different, with a very different horizon.